When the lights fade, the world holds its breath. The drums hit, the crowd erupts. From WWE to AEW, from NWA to TNA, all the way to New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is where legends rise. Aaron loves wrestling. Let's begin. Let the storm hit, feel the world shift. AEW, yo, we talking big lift. To the WA roots, seeing fire in the booth. New Japan warriors fighting for the truth. Crowds roar loud when the spotlight shines. Aaron loves wrestling, we live for the grind. Step into the ring, hear the heartbeat thump. Pyro in the sky, let the bass line jump. From the classic days where the legends were made to the modern era warriors never afraid. We break down drama, every shock, every twist, every dream match moment that you couldn't resist. From Tokyo Dome nights to the big raw stage, from Power Earth Studios to AEW Rage. This is passion, combat, the soul of the show. We bring the breakdown, the hype and the glow. Every slam, every dive, every storyline ride. I'll let you where the love never dies. Champions with the gold hanging right on their necks. The moments that shock you, the promos that hit, those fight forever chants. Yeah, we feel all of it. We salute every brand, every style in the ring. Strong style, lucha libre man, wrestling is king. From old school brawls to the high risk fights, we celebrate the craft and the love of the fight. Podcast vibes with that pay-per-view feel. Every episode hits like a main event deal. Aaron on the mic, yeah, he keeping it real. Breaking wrestling down with that champion feel. Breaking wrestling down with that champion appeal.
When the crowd goes silent and the bell echoes through the arena, when destiny calls, we answer.
This is for the fans. This is for the passion. This is Aaron Loves Wrestling. Let the love for wrestling live forever. When the lights fade, the world holds its breath. The drums hit, the crowd erupts. From WWE to AEW, from NWA to TNA, all the way to New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is where legends rise. Aaron loves wrestling. Let's begin. Let the storm hit, feel the world shift. AEW, yo, we talking big lift. To the WA roots, seeing fire in the booth. New Japan warriors fighting for the truth. Crowds roar loud when the spotlight shines. Aaron loves wrestling, we live for the grind. Step into the ring, hear the heartbeat thump. Pyro in the sky, let the bass line jump. From the classic days where the legends were made to the modern era warriors never afraid. We break down drama, every shock, every twist, every dream match moment that you couldn't resist. From Tokyo Dome nights to the big raw stage, from Power Earth Studios to AEW Rage. This is passion, combat, the soul of the show. We bring the breakdown, the hype and the glow. Every slam, every dive, every storyline ride. I'll let you where the love never dies.
How's it going, all my wrestling lovers? This is the Aaron Loves Wrestling Podcast, and I am Dr. Love, A.A. Ron himself. And this is talking about the success of All Elite Wrestling in 2025. The success of AEW in 2025. Now, I know a lot of people out there, I wouldn't say a lot, but some that I know that would disagree because they probably prefer WWE or TNA over AEW, or they just don't like AEW for whatever reason, and that's okay. I respect that. Uh, so this isn't for you. If you're not an AEW fan, this isn't for you. But this is, but if you want to listen, I'll listen to some of the statistics of AEW in 2025 and the facts. Uh, then listen and enjoy. To all my AEW fans out there, we had a great year. I love AEW. I went to a few shows this year, especially all in Texas. That was fun, a great experience. And I went to Dynamite and hopefully get to go to Collision next weekend. Hopefully. We'll see. But I'm going to try to go to some AEW shows again in 2026. But this is talking about AEW success in 2025 and how great it was, especially better compared to 2024. And then what I would like to see in 2026, and I would like to see AEW elevate and get bigger in 2026. But what I want to point out is that why AEW was huge in 2025. They got the awards on self-made and Sports Illustrated Wrestling. They got awards for Wrestling Promotion of the Year. Won the awards for Minute Women's Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Show of the Year, and so on. AEW got many awards for 2025, and that speaks volume. That speaks volume because a lot of people, including myself in 2024, weren't as invested in AEW. I watched here and there, but in 2025, I've actually watched probably about near every episode. I'd say around 90% of AEW in 2025 because the company, in my opinion, not only the wrestling matches, but the stories have gotten better and continue to get better. And I'm hyped for 2026. So this is what Sports Illustrated Wrestling, the SI Awards here. Promotion of the Year, AEW. Female Wrestler of the Year, Mercedes Moné, and rightfully so. If you disagree with that, go look at her stats, and it will tell you why. And a lot of people will disagree because, she's 13 belts Moné, Ultimo Moné. How's that helping the women's division? Blah, blah, blah. When the women start defeating her for these titles, which we've already seen it twice, the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship, she lost to Red Velvet, and last week, or Saturday, Mercedes Moné lost the Rev Pro British Championship to Alex Windsor, which rightfully so. So we'll see then which belt she loses next. And I'm thinking it will lead up to AEW Revolution, to where she will put the TBS Championship on the line. I think by that point she would have lost all the other titles. And the story will be she's clinging on to that one. And whoever is in line to face her for that, I'm hoping Harley Cameron. I think Harley Cameron should be the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship, because Harley Cameron herself has also elevated in 2025 and is now the AEW Women's Tag Team Champion with Willow Nightingale. But Harley Cameron has definitely improved and gotten better throughout the year in 2025, and I think Harley Cameron is the right pick to defeat Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. So I'm standing on that. So feel the wrath of Harley Cameron. I think she should win. If not at Revolution, possibly Grand Slam Australia. Let's have a repeat of last year, but this time she wins. But we'll see. Men's Wrestler of the Year, Hangman Adam Page, rightfully so. The Hangman Redemption story was a key part for AEW success and how a lot more wrestling fans got invested into AEW was because of that story. John Moxley put Hangman Adam Page over, put him over big with that story when Hangman Adam Page won the AEW Men's World Championship at AEW in Texas. Excuse me. Tag Team of the Year, FTR. FTR, rightfully so. FTR becoming the Tag Team of the Year. I mean, them being a successful tag team all year. And not only that, the stories they have had, especially turning on Adam Copeland, and then the story with Adam Copeland and Christian, and it's not over yet. I'm sure we'll see it again here soon. FTR, they were the top tag team in 2025 in professional wrestling as a whole. There's some other good wrestling tag teams out there, but I agree that FTR is was the best tag team of 2025, and they're the AEW Men's Tag Team Champions going into 2026, so they're not finished yet. Best in the ring is Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is a phenomenal athlete in the ring. I love it, Will Ospreay, and I hope we see him soon. But I want him to recover, get 100%, so we can see him back, especially for AEW All in London next year. So I'm hoping. I can't wait for Will Ospreay to return. But best in the ring of 2025, I'd have to agree with that. I would say really good, close second, probably Konosuke Takeshita. He's really great in the ring as well. Okada. Bandito. Bandito's. I'd actually put Bandito as a close second. Now I think about it, because Bandito's phenomenal in the ring. So Will Ospreay and Bandito will be my top two for best in the ring. Best on the mic, they put Timeless Toni Storm. She's been really great on the mic this year for AEW. I would argue or Harley Cameron has as well. But Timeless Toni Storm, yeah. Best on the mic, Breakout Wrestler of the Year, Kyle Fletcher. He is one. Konosuke Takeshita is another, in my opinion. Bandito is another one. So many others you could fit in that category. Storyline of the year, Hangman Adam Page Redemption, of course. Hangman Page's Redemption was the story of the year. Rivalry of the year, Hangman Adam Page versus John Moxley. I agree. That was a really good rivalry leading up to All in Texas. And show of the year says AEW Double or Nothing. I would have to say All in Texas was the best, in my opinion, due to the stories and everything. But AEW Double or Nothing, Will Ospreay's and Hangman Adam Page match was, I'd say, the best of the year. So that one, that was I'd have to argue with that one. All in Texas was my show of the year for AEW. All Out was really good due to the return of Jurassic Express and Jungle Jack Perry and Luchasaurus reuniting. But Double or Nothing isn't a bad pick either. So that's your SI Wrestling Awards. And as you can see, AEW down the line. AEW definitely elevated in 2025. What's up, Stampede? Stampede says FTR in my final three for my year-end awards and Tag Team Awards of the year. Ooh, who are the other two, Stampede? Please do tell. But AEW had strong pay-per-view buy rates, live attendances, improved TV momentum, fan engagement, brand growth. They had the storylines and the wrestling matches all year. You have the pay-per-view buys here. let's see, AEW pay-per-view live event numbers. Revolution generated 135 to 140,000 estimated buy rates. Wrestle Dream 115 to 125 pay-per-view buy rates. All In reportedly set the largest live pay-per-view audience in history for the company. So All In, again, show of the year. Full Gear 2025 was another good one there as well. Successful buy rate. Their ratings were solid throughout the year, around 600,000 viewers to 700,000 viewers. Dropped around 500 occasionally, but Dynamite was steady throughout the year, around 5 to 600,000 viewers. Collision was about 4 to 500,000, so a little bit lower. But as for me, I don't really care for the ratings and ticket fan attendance argument. I don't. Being steady like this throughout the year, and this is going by cable viewers. It's not going by HBO Max viewership either. That is a mystery. Nobody knows the correct amount of numbers with that. I would argue, if I had to give a guesstimate, an extra 2 to 300,000 extra watching on HBO Max. And this is all calculating for live viewership as well. It's not counting those who go and rewatch it due to their busy schedules. They catch it later. Not everybody's going to consistently watch AEW. So there's been a few shows that I had to rewatch that I couldn't watch live. So it's the on HBO Max. So this is going off of the cable viewerships, but this again, I don't really care for the viewership and fan attendance argument. Everyone brings that up all the time to make fun of AEW, but they're doing a far better off than many wrestling companies with lower viewership and lower fan attendance. So everyone argues that, but AEW has done solid throughout the year 2025. You had the fan engagement of 2025. The 2025 fans survey showed that only 6% of fans felt the product was worse than 2024. 6%. Again, let me read it again. 6% felt that it was worse than 2024. So only 6% of wrestling fans thought that AEW was worse than 2024, which those 6% are probably the Travelers, or their AEW is just not their taste. You got to think about when it comes to AEW, or when it comes to professional wrestling. You got sports entertainment fans and professional wrestling fans. And yes, there's a difference. You get your sports entertainment, which they got to add, of course, the entertainment. And then the matter with the wrestling is generated around quote unquote stories and etc. instead of tournaments and a sports centered style of wrestling, which is AEW. If you want your sports entertainment, then watch WWE or TNA, I would say as well. If you want to watch real professional wrestling centered around a sports style, which is New Japan and AEW and CMLL with the tournaments and the title belts, etc., which they have stories as well. I'm not saying they don't. Then AEW is the one. And AEW, in my opinion, especially this year alone, 2025, they've had a lot of better wrestling matches than others. AEW's wrestling matches and New Japan wrestling matches. I've watched New Japan on the New Japan World app, and they've had some great wrestling matches of their own over there. But AEW gets so much hate. They get so much hate, and they definitely have throughout the year 2025 because of, I don't know why, I don't know why they get generated so much hate. Excuse me. But it to me it's ridiculous. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Yes, that is my thing. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you ain't got nothing good to say about it, don't talk about it. If it's not your cup of tea, then there's no need to spread hate about it. Now, what is the difference between hate and criticism? I can take someone's criticism of why they don't like the company. I understand that. I would still debate you on it and argue with you on it. But at the end of the day, if you still disagree, we can agree to disagree and move on with our lives. But if you constantly just hate on the company, like they have nothing good about them, there's nothing good about AEW, there's nothing good about the wrestling, there are no stories, blah, 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 then yes, that's one that's hating on the company. You got some hate or beef with the company because of whatever reason. I don't know. Or you just don't like it in general. You're pro WWE all the way, or you're pro whatever all the way, and you just constantly hate on AEW. But if you give an honest opinion of why you don't like the company or what you would like to see different for you to watch, then I can understand that. But it's also not about you. If that's not something, if it's something different that you want to watch, well, that's why you got WWE. That's why it's great that we have alternatives in our professional wrestling. We have different alternatives in our professional wrestling. WWE, AEW, TNA, NWA Power, New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, AAA, and the list goes on. There's different styles of professional wrestling for each fan because each one views wrestling differently. The way I love wrestling is the way I see AEW do it. Sports-centered tournaments and the high-paced action that I see in the ring. Like New Japan, and even New Japan, NWA Power. WWE's got some of it, but not a lot. So that's what I love about AEW. Now I do like my sports entertainment. I do like the goofiness here and there, but I love AEW because of the wrestling matches. To me, they're great. And that's just my opinion. Yours is different. If yours is different because you like WWE's better or you like TNA's better, etc., then that's fine. We can agree to disagree. It ain't got to be no lashing of each other of, oh, this is why you suck and blah, blah, blah. We don't got to do all that. That is ridiculous. We don't need all that. We can agree to disagree and move on. And that's just what I can say about that. Because all year I've seen over on AEW just so much disrespect and hate. And if you say anything positive about AEW to debate someone or why they hate it, sometimes you get blocked. Not all the time, but sometimes you do. And I find it ridiculous. Just, if you can agree to disagree and still have a civilized conversation and a healthy debate about it. You don't have to get up on your feelings and hate one another and blah, blah, blah. No, that's just ridiculous. Stampede says, All In is my final 3 for event of the year. Who are the other 2, Stampede? Who are the other 2? Which, by the way, y'all, I'm going to follow Stampede. Got really great and honest, unbiased grades of wrestling matches. I love his take on wrestling and his how he grades matches and views them. So go follow Stampede. He is great. But yeah, AEW throughout the year 2025, my favorite match of the year. My favorite match of the year for AEW, which I posted on X yesterday of my AEW Wrestling Lovers Awards and what I think. This is me. Heyman Adam Page is my men's wrestler of the year, obviously. Women's wrestler of the year, Mercedes Moné. Tag team, FTR. Women's tag team of the year, Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale. Men's breakout star of the year, I chose Konosuke Takeshita because I think he had a a bigger year in my opinion. Nothing against Cal Fletcher, but he also had one. But Konosuke Takeshita had a big year, and winning the IWGP World Championship was the icing on the cake. Women's Breakout Star of the Year, Harley Cameron. Obviously, she has been phenomenal in 2025. Men's Match of the Year, I got Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher at All Out. I really loved that match, even though I did love the Will Ospreay match, Hangman and Will Ospreay match at Double or Nothing. I really loved the Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page match. That one, after looking at all of it, that one was my match of the year for me. The women's match of the year, Mercedes Moné versus Athena in the Ohio Cup tournament on AEW Dynamite on April 16th earlier this year. That match was a banger. That was amazing. Mercedes Moné and Athena. It was just back and forth with the edge of your seat action. So that was my women's match of the year. Paper of the year, as I stated before, All In Texas. The OMG moment of the year, or shock moment of the year, was the Jungle Jack Perry return to Jurassic Express and Jurassic Express reunite at AEW All Out because of the surprise of that. That one to me was just freaking great. But AEW, they've had big success this year in 2025. It isn't a knock on anyone else. I'm not trying to do the comparison game. I'm just here to give my view on AEW and why I thought it was really great and way better than 2024. I won't compare it to AEW in 2024. Not that I just thought it was better, and AEW is elevating and getting better. And in 2026, this is what I'd like to see. I would like to see in 2026, honestly, 3-hour Dynamites. Reason being is because they have the loaded talent to do so. They have the talent to put on 3-hour Dynamites. Collision can stay at 2, but putting on 3-hour Dynamites and filling in more of the roster on the show, I would like to see Dynamite go 3 hours. That's just me. You can disagree, but we can agree to disagree. I think AEW Dynamite for 3 hours and fitting in more names on the show, more matches, and we can generate some more stories as well. I would love to see Dynamite go 3 hours. The pay-per-views, we can lessen them by an hour to 2 hours. We can have a good solid 4-hour pay-per-view or 3-hour pay-per-view. I'd say 3.5 hour pay-per-view, and do away with the 0-hour matches or the pre-show matches. We can do away with all that. We don't need all that. That's why I think Dynamite going 3 hours can be great because it can benefit with the wrestlers getting their TV time. But having the pay-per-views shrink down just a little bit, and especially just eliminating the pre-hour shows, and I think that would be the best way to do it. We can, because I don't really watch some of them anyway. There's been a couple that I watched this year, but none of the others that I really just had to watch. That's just me. And it's not a knock on AEW. If you disagree with me, it's fine. If you watched them and you enjoyed them, cool. I'm happy for you. I ain't saying that you're wrong. I'm saying we can get rid of those and focus on what we got on the main deal of the main pay-per-view. And if you want to look at it, it's kind of like a UFC pay-per-view. UFC, they have their pre-fights before the actual pay-per-view, and then you have your pay-per-view. So if you look at it, it's kind of like the UFC layout. So if you are the one that enjoys the UFC layout, cool. I guess I can do away with the pre-matches. Again, just my opinion. Stampede says, do the 3-hour Dynamites when the situation calls for it. It doesn't need to be 3 hours every week. I can see your opinion there. I just respectfully disagree because I like the 3-hour Dynamites. The more wrestling for me, the better. But yeah, when it calls for it, I guess the Dynamite before the pay-per-view, or at least we could do that. Okay, let's just say this. Let's not say every Dynamite. All the other Dynamites can stay 2 hours. Let's just say every Dynamite before the pay-per-view. And it can just be Dynamite, not Dynamite/Collision, just Dynamite. Do a 3-hour Dynamite, and then you can do the 2-hour Collision on Thursday night. At least do it before the pay-per-view. That's what I'd say. 3-hour Dynamite, 2-hour Collision before the pay-per-view. 3-hour Dynamite on Wednesday, 2-hour Collision on Thursday, and the pay-per-view on Saturday, or if the pay-per-view is on Sunday. But I will hope they keep the Saturday format because I really love the pay-per-views being on Saturday because due to work, watching these long-hour pay-per-views, I'd rather have a whole day to get some sleep in and not have to worry about getting up for work, and I can just chill. That's just me. But doing it on a Sunday night before the work week, that can be a little too much and exhausting. So keep the pay-per-views on Saturdays, and I wouldn't mind seeing an afternoon format. If you're going to keep doing this UFC style layout with the pre-show matches plus the pay-per-view matches, then do it in the afternoons. Do it at 2 or 3 o'clock, and then that way it's not so long throughout the day. But that is my opinion. I'm still going to watch. If nothing changes, I'm still going to watch. And if I miss something because of sleep or work, I'll just rewatch it later, like I have been. I'm still going to watch it because I love AEW and I love the matches and I love the stories and I'm invested in a lot of the wrestlers in AEW. But these are some changes I would like to see, and that's one of them. And yeah, so essentially 3-hour Dynamite when it calls for it before the pay-per-view. Correct. Just before every pay-per-view, let's just have it 3 hours. Just Dynamite. No, not the Dynamite/Collision, because I hate just me, I hate having to switch. Just keep it Dynamite. And then Collision, you can keep it at 2 hours on Thursday, or do an hour Collision Thursday night after Ring of Honor or something, or before Ring of Honor. Whichever calls for it. Another thing I would like to see, another thing I'd like to see is some more of the wrestlers getting the call-ups. Excuse me. For example, Kyle Fletcher in the men's world title picture. I think he's ready. Put him in there. Put him in there to compete for the men's world title. I think he should win it to whoever has it at Revolution. Let's have him go on to chase for the title all the way to Revolution, win the title at Revolution, hold on to the title until All In London to face Will Ospreay at All In London for the AEW Men's World Championship in the main event. Thanks, Chris. Thank you very much about last week's episode. Appreciate it. That's what I like to see with Kyle Fletcher. We can have the story lead up to next year at All In London for the AEW Men's World title with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. Next, if we're not going to have Hangman in the Men's World title picture, then have him go in the TNT title picture. He can win the TNT championship. TNT title would look bad on Heyman Adam Page. He can even get his own custom title like Mark Briscoe has. So that is me. If Hangman Adam Page, if he's not going to be the AEW Men's World Champion, which I would like to see him win at World's End this weekend, which tune in for Friday for a World's End preview or on Saturday, whichever, because I'm going to do a little preview and prediction show. I'm just waiting for all the matches to get finalized because we still only have about 6 matches announced. So waiting to see what else is going to be announced. But I would like to see Heyman and Page win the world title this this weekend at World's End, hold the title all the way to Revolution, drop the title at Revolution to Kyle Fletcher, and then we get Kyle Fletcher holding the title to All In, and then Will Ospreay winning at All In, holding the title. I say hold on to that title to World's End next year. You know, I love a I love a little bit longer title reigns. I don't like every so few months. I really did enjoy, although it was John Moxley, but I really enjoyed his long title reign a lot. Even though he had the title in a briefcase, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed MJF's title reign when he had the title for 400 days, I believe. So I enjoy long title reigns, but that is just me. I don't like the transitional championship back and forth, hot potato type. I don't like that. But but that's what I would like to see in 2026 is some of these wrestlers getting boosted. Harley Cameron is another one. Have her go for the TBS championship. Harley Cameron can win the TBS title and go on a title reign with the TBS championship. And then Jamie Hayter, and she wins the AEW Women's World Championship this weekend. After her, we could probably see Megan Bain step up and be in the AEW Women's World Title picture. And I would like to see what the women's division and tag team division, women's tag team division is bring up some of these teams from Ring of Honor and bring in some other teams from other promotions that kind of solidify this women's tag team division, because I honestly think Megan Bain would benefit in the singles title picture with the AEW Women's World Championship. I would also like to see. I think would Penelope Ford can join the Triangle of Madness or Sisters of Sin and be with that group. I think she would fit in with that group. I would like to see Marina Shafir get her push. Maybe if she can even compete for the AEW Women's or TBS Championship. TBS Championship, and maybe even have a Continental Classic for the women. Maybe we can get that. Also, I would like to see is an All Elite Women's pay-per-view. An all pay-per-view just for the women. We can have that in AEW next year. Call it All Elite Women, AEW, All Elite Women. There you go. AEW. We can have it like that. But having a pay-per-view just for the women, I think it would be great. You got the roster to do it. AEW's got a nice roster, a loaded roster with great talent. So having an All Elite Women pay-per-view, I think, would benefit AEW. Stampede says, what if Kyle wins a different title? Which title are you thinking? The international title or the continental title or the national championship? Which one are you thinking? Chris says that, let's see, he said a lot. Yeah, I'm not going to read Chris's. Merry Christmas to you, though. Mega Bane, the AEW Women's World Champion 2026. That one I agree. Continental title. I still want Pac to win, though. I really want Pac to win this Continental Classic. I think it would be great for Pac to win this. That's just me. And there ain't nothing wrong, Chris, about Sky Blue bleeding. I like that she went out there and she did that. AEW Blood and Guts was phenomenal, and I would like to see that in a Blood and Guts War Games type match compared to No Blood. When you have a match like that with that style, with that stipulation, there needs to be blood. There needs to be color. And I like that Sky Blue did what she did for the women's Blood and Guts. That's just me. But if you think otherwise, then Cool. But AEW has had a great 2025. 2026, we're going to say I would like to see in 2026 as well a Texas pay per view. Just like what All In Texas was, but have something that's just for Texas. You can do it one of the shows here. That way, hopefully, I could attend another pay per view next year. Because All In Texas was fun. I would love to go to London and visit there and um, you ain't gonna talk like that, Chris. Um, but yeah, excuse that one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me click on it, bring it up on the screen. Um, but yeah, the AEW in 2026, I would like the Texas pay per view. We can have a Texas style pay per view, AEW Roundup, or I don't know, something to where we can have a pay per view in Texas. That's what I'd like to see. It won't be at Globe Field again, but we could have it at, uh, you know, maybe AT&T Stadium or maybe the Dallas, the Mavericks and Stars Arena, something to where we can have a pay per view in Texas. That's just me. So Tony Khan, if you ever listen to this, I would like a pay per view in Texas. But yeah, I would like to see also in 2026 for AEW, the AEW Unified Championship. That can be, we can retire that belt and just have the International and the Continental Championship. It served its purpose for Okada and Omega at All In Texas, but I would like to see just have the Continental and International Championship and have the International title defended internationally, and then the AEW National Championship can be defended nationally within the states. So you have an international, which can go all over the world. The national title will just go all over the states. Have it to where it lives up to its purpose. That's what I'd like to see. And some storylines with those titles. But AEW has had some, again, great viewership. The awards, Male Wrestler of the Year, Hangman Adam Page, rightfully so. Hangman Adam Page winning the Men's Wrestler of the Year was the best choice, in my opinion. Let's see. He had his stats. He had a 25-5 record in 2025. 83% win rate. Singles record was 20 wins and 2 losses. Tag team matches were 2 wins and 0 losses, and trios matches were 3-1. So Heyman and Page having that title at AW, or being the Men's World Wrestler of the Year, Men's Wrestler of the Year was the best choice in my opinion, and especially his story. And if you don't want to go off of his matches alone, let's say his story, the story for All In Texas, leading up to All In, the redemption story, that drew in a lot of viewers, or it got people invested. That drew in a lot of viewers. That got people invested, especially me. Heyman Adam Page has been my guy since 2019. And to see him, what happened to him after his first world title run, especially with the whole CM Punk story, which that's another debate for another day. And then seeing the downfall, I would say, after that, and seeing him in mixed type of storylines or trios or tag matches, just getting lost in the mix. It upset me. But seeing him get his redemption and now one of the top stars in the company right now, I love it. So hopefully we can continue this in 2026 and Heyman Adam Page be more invested, is more invested in and involved in many of the top stories and titles. Because Heyman Adam Page is the best one to me on the roster. It's just my biased opinion. Y'all can have y'all can agree to disagree, but that is just from me. So, with that being said, let me know what you thought of AEW in 2025. Let me know what you thought of the company. What did you think of AEW 2025? Be respectful in the comments, or you will get muted or blocked like someone here. You need to be respectful in the comments. Again, respectful in the comments. But let me know what you thought of AEW 2025. Let me know what you thought of the company as a whole in 2025 and what you look forward to in 2026, and we'll get you more invested in AEW in 2026. Doug, what's up, Doug? He says here, agreed, Stampede. I'm starting to think Fletcher takes the tournament. I'm beginning to think Okada versus Takeshita happens in the semis, and whoever wins faces Kyle in the finals. Whoever wins the Takeshita and Okada match costs the other against Fletcher to prove it cut off there to prove they are his best friend, or just because they hate the other guy. I can get into that. I can get down with that. I can get down with that. That is that is a good storyline right there, and it'll be good for Takeshi and Okada, especially leading up to New Japan Wrestle Kingdom with Takeshita's IWGP World Title on the line against Yoda Sushi, or still trying to say these names right. Pull this card back up here. There it is. Yep, Yoda Sushi. Suji. Yoda Suji. Yoda Suji is the Global Heavyweight Championship. And Konosuke Takeshita is the IWGP World Championship. And this is for both of the titles. I have a feeling they're going to be unifying the titles. And it'll be establishing one world championship. And Suji said that he would bring back the old school IWGP World Title if the version 4, I think he said, if he wins. So that'd be cool. What do you think of that, chat? Yoda Suji bringing back the version 4 IWGP World Championship. I don't mind the current design. It's okay. I'd say it's okay. Let's just leave it at that. But I do like the old school design better. It just looked better. But I'm ready for that. Wrestle Kingdom. Still planning on doing a watch along for that. So I will get my naps in, get my coffee ready. But I plan on doing a watch along for Wrestle Kingdom 20 this weekend on Saturday. We're going to do a World's End watch along as well. So can't wait for that. I'm going to do a World's End preview prediction show either Friday or Saturday. I'm trying to see when the full World's End card will be finalized so I can go over the entire card. And who knows, there might even be some drop surprises of the card on Saturday. But I do love the I do love Wrestle Kingdom. I'm not ready for Tanahashi to retire yet, but 26 years in the business, and you can't wrestle forever. Because I just started becoming a New Japan fan. I've been watching a lot of Hiroshi Tanahashi's past matches in the past few years, and he has had a great career. Still got a lot more watching to do, but I watched a few, especially him against Kenny Omega. Um, and if you got any more recommendations of Hiroshi Tanahashi, some really great matches, let me know. But I really have enjoyed the matches I watched so far against Kenny Omega. I think trying to think of what other ones I watched. I watched a lot of the ones he had this year. But any other um, Hiroshi Tanahashi matches that you recommend, let me know. But I do. I'm going to enjoy his retirement match against Okada. I think his match against Okada is going to be a great match, and I hope he wins. I hope he wins. I really do. But I love New Japan Pro Wrestling since I started watching. It's great, and I love AEW. I think AEW is great. CMLL is great. I watched the highlights of that. I just love professional wrestling. But yeah, let me know what you think about Wrestle Kingdom 20 as well. What do you think? Doug said it could turn out to be Takeshita versus Okada in the finals, like I originally thought, but this is where I'm at now, referencing to his previous statement about the story. I don't know. I like what you said before. I think it'll be great. I really, really do. I really, really do. But with that being said, that's my take on AEW in 2025. Thought it was a great year. I thought it was personally better than WWE. I really did. I really thought it was better than WWE overall. Uh, Storylines were consistent. The matches were great. A lot of great matches. WWE was good, and there were some great matches here and there, great moments here and there. Uh, but I don't know, with some of the John Cena farewell tour and injuries happening, which injuries you can't help, it's part of the business, so I understand. AEW just had a better year and got me more invested in AEW than WWE did. So that's just my opinion, and I don't like that WWE is peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and ruining kayfabe. Uh, but with that being said, AEW had a great year. I'm gonna be doing a WWE also 2025 review later this weekend or next week. Uh, so tune in for that one. AEW, I thought had again a great year, and in 2026, uh, future faces rising up. I would like to see a pay per view in Texas, and I'd like to see the pay per views cut back on the pre show matches and just stick with the pay per view matches. And I would like to see every Dynamite before a pay per view be 3 hours long. That's what I would love. With that being said, uh, Chris, WWE is not going to buy New Japan. New Japan is not going to sell to WWE. New Japan has WWE would ruin New Japan Pro Wrestling. Ruin New Japan Pro Wrestling. AEW's partnership with New Japan is great. There's nothing wrong with AEW's partnership with New Japan. They have a great partnership, and New Japan is just fine, and in my opinion, way better off than WWE. We do not need WWE getting their hands on New Japan and ruining New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're different styles, different formats. We don't need WWE ruining that. Of all the New Japan wrestlers that WWE has gotten, Julia, Shinsuke Nakamura, and others have ruined have ruined their aura. I mean, if you go look at Julia matches in Stardom, and if you go look at the Julia versus Mariah May match in Stardom, which Mariah May is Blake Monroe now in WWE, that match is going to be far better. I don't care what match that Blake Monroe and Julia have in WWE. they're probably going to pair them up and have a match in there anyway, just so they can say, "Hey, we got him to WWE as well." But their match at Stardom will always be 100 times better. They just have different styles, and they tone down the strong style of wrestling. I would love to see Shinsuke go back to New Japan. I would like to see, or even AEW. Shinsuke Nakamura fit great in AEW or New Japan. Julia as well. I would like to see her go back to Stardom or in AEW. With WWE, she was great in NXT. Had a great run with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was pushing her as a strong in the women's division. But ever since she got on the main roster, yes, she won the United States title, but that's it. Since then, what else has she done except job to others? So, Triple H needs to get it right with Julia. Doug says Tanahashi has to win, especially after the Cena send-off. That's true. Not that I think the Cena thing was bad or anything, but Okada doesn't need that rub. But I could see Hiroshi propping him up as well. I hope for the fairy tale ending, though. I agree. Fairy tale ending, and I think we might get it. Seeing the backlash of the John Cena ending from many fans, I think New Japan took notes on that one. I think they did. They're like, yeah, we're going to change some things. But who knows? Okada might win, get that rub, and defeated Tanahashi, and that might be one of the big things in Konosuke Takeshita's and Okada's story. And yes, WWE can still salvage Julia if they start realizing the fans actually like her. That's true. I agree. But with that being said, I rambled on long enough. Again, I love AEW. If you love AEW, subscribe and like the video. Let me know what you think about, or what you thought of AEW in 2025 and what you think should be done in 2026. Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the hype button, share the video, and I'm going to be doing a review of Dynamite and Collision this weekend, and then at World's End preview / prediction show. So get ready for that. We're signing out. Have a good one. Love everybody. I love y'all. Just love professional wrestling. And have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas to all. And to all a good night. Have a good one, y'all.
When the lights fade, the world holds its breath. The drums hit, the crowd erupts. From WWE to AEW, from NWA to TNA, all the way to New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is where legends rise. Aaron loves wrestling. Let's begin. Let the storm hit, feel the world shift. AEW, we talking big lift. To the runaway roots, seeing fire in the booth. New Japan warriors fighting for the truth. Crowds roar loud when the spotlight shines. Aaron loves wrestling, we live for the grind. Step into the ring, hear the heartbeat thump. Pyro in the sky, let the bass line jump. From the classic days where the legends were made to the modern era warriors never afraid. We break down drama, every shock, every twist, every dream match moment that you couldn't resist. From Tokyo Dome nights to the big raw stage, from Power Earth Studios to AEW Rage. This is passion, combat, the soul of the show. We bring the breakdown, the hype and the glow. Every slam, every dive, every storyline ride. I'll let you where the love never dies. Champions with the gold hanging right on their neck. The moments that shock you, the promos that hit, those fight forever chants. Yeah, we feel all of it. We salute every brand, every style in the ring. Strong style, lucha libre man, wrestling is king. champion appeal.
When the crowd goes silent and the bell echoes through the arena. When destiny calls